Yep. Golf and Kush TV, Cairo University, night school. What's happening? What's going on, world? Y'all asleep and exhausted and tired. I know all that information earlier got y'all thinking. I know all that information. That shit hit home, didn't it? Woo, a beautiful day. Press 1 when you in the classroom. Let me know you in the building. What's happening? I like trouble, trouble, DTS moment. Alley boy. Yeah. I was just listening to that nigga Nati. Whoo. Whoo, that boy dangerous right here, right here. What's up, Victoria? Shout out to you, Queen. B from Ohio in the building. What do you want, Laura? What do you want, Laura? Why you emailing me, Laura? What do you want? Essence is in the building. What up, Wish? Good to see you, sir, in the classroom. Who up in here? Let me see who else in here. Intuitive. That's a new one. Intuitive is a new person into class. Shout out to all the new people making their way over here from wherever part of the universe you from on this internet, the World Wide Web. What up, Lisa? Lisa is in the building. Yeah, you can't hit this though, Terry. Mr. Green, Miss Green, you can't hit this though. Don't worry about that. Them the rules when you in here. Don't worry about what anybody doing but yourself. You didn't bring nothing, that's on you. Bring your own beer. Here, night school, Kev Row, and nothing. I hope y'all all subscribe to my other channel, of course. I wish my moderators had that link in there just ready to go. That'd be a blessing, Lord. That'd be a blessing. Let me see who else up in here. Let me see who up in here. Dookie Blunts. Dookie Blunts always show up when we talking about some real shit, even though he got a funny name. He always showing up. I noticed that. What's good? I'm just waiting. Get those likes up as you enter the building. Hey, what did I tell y'all January 1st, 2020? Can somebody let me know? Can somebody let me know what I said January 1st, 2020? Well, January 1st, 2020, I did a show called, it was a what if night. It was a conspiracy night. And I said the Clintons, China, and hip hop. Now, what are the odds of that being what we talking about here today and have been going through this whole time through in COVID? What about that? Link is in there already. What are the odds of this stuff, y'all? That's what I'm saying. January 1st. Just like I told y'all January 6th what was going to be happening in 2020. It's on the first day. I was already telling y'all, be careful. I told y'all the last trick of the Democrats was what? What's the last trick of the Democrats? The black card. Trayvon Martin situation. Shout out to the families who lost loved ones, but it was a way for this Tamika Mallory and Mason and this type of stuff, infiltration style tactics being used covertly by other individuals who I think is great marketing teams and Asian or Chinese owned. That's what I think. Because of what I saw of Boyce Watkins and Charles Wu. The game they played on Afro Americans last year, the last 2 years, is just ridiculous. So I just wanted to double back on making sure everybody went off to bed tonight, get ready for school tomorrow, and remembering exactly what this is about. You know, Ice Cube brought up a contract for Black America, which is identical, just off presentation alone, to a grand scheme of a marketer, as if somebody's trying to sell me something here. Now, a lot of y'all don't know. I take everything like that. I watch this YouTube. What are you trying to sell me, sir? You know? And the first thing that I wanted to know, Tammy, Sister Tammy over there, I see you. First thing I wanted to know was, who wrote this? Because I know Ice Cube, Zulu looking at it right there, is not there when it comes to contracts. In fact, I brought it up that why are these rappers trying to send the president a contract via Ice Cube? And who wrote the contract? You got to know who wrote the contract. Ice Cube got a black contract, and then all of the paid for advertisement YouTube channels promote Ice Cube here, Ice Cube in a black contract here. Why? Because they need you to sign as a whole the contract, which is to give up your sovereignty. Exactly what I've been talking about this whole time with the letter, the Pope's letter to Obama, all of the time, and the contracts being up for what? For this moment right here. Why all of these people are pretending to care about all this hate stuff. The problem is, as you awaken in this world, Afro-American, you're going to realize that everybody ran off with your name, with your culture. All of these different nations that call themselves black are not Afro-Americans. They're being through the struggle and deserve the reparations that you deserve. And a lot of people are clinging on to you, trying to get what's due to you. And the whole Democratic Party would not want you to get what's owed to you. They're representative of some holy biblical stuff where they just do not want to let you go. Now, you can believe all these social media sites that's bought and paid for and was put forth by the black people in their little social networking groups to make it appear like they speaking for us. That's how you ended up with these false prophets as far as black leadership is concerned. But you can't deny the fact that you here, you stuck in it. You're now realizing that the whole black struggle is used as a piggyback for foreign institutions and nationalities, identities, and nations to infiltrate and take over your whole country. Because you are, like Malcolm X said, you are the decided vote. That ain't changed. That ain't changed no time from then to now. So y'all got to start thinking a little bit. Y'all say y'all conscious, but you're not really thinking when it comes to that level of thinking. What's up, Jamie Lee? Amina, Mandu is in the building. Dead Man 112 is in the building. Why you name yourself that? I don't know, but fine. Y'all got to start thinking. Who wrote the contract? And how do you identify who wrote the contract? Because they won't tell you who wrote the contract. You can Instagram these people. Now, I know they get the Instagram. Sir, who wrote this? Who is we and who wrote this? And it always come back to the same shit. Next question. Joe Biden as Democrat. Next question, please. Who wrote this? And I'm starting to realize there's a whole... I'm going to be under the assumption that that still same old marketing firm trying to get you and don't infiltrate it its way into your life for some reason. But I wanted to, I didn't hear it, but I found the audiobook of the damn contract myself. And that's what I love about this is the internet is undefeated, baby. And what I wanted to do was spend a little time with you going over the contracts, because I think that's important for us to hear and know when to. What's up, Louisiana is in the building, and know when it's time to pay attention and listening to how they sell you these things. They're not gonna tell you who wrote this, but I can pretty much guess, knowing that who is this Charles Wu. Charles Wu has the same ideology. The urgent need to rewrite America's social contract because of what's going on worldwide. Y'all know what's going on. I know y'all forgot, but the trafficking stuff with all the kids and the containers and these nations and all this other shit is going on. Y'all better start paying attention. There's a lot of things going on, and we're going to talk about that on Coffee and Kush TV or What If tomorrow night. And that's going to be dope. That's going to be dope. But I did want to say who wrote it. And nobody can tell me who wrote this. So I have to use my American Negro brain unleashed and listen to the language as if somebody's trying to sell me something. Shout out to Melissa. And I decided to do it with y'all tonight at night school. We can sit back, listen, and listen to the cue words of, what if this was a Chinese marketing firm trying to use my plight against myself? You know, we go what if mode. And you don't have to ask nobody to what if or do your conspiracy stuff. You gotta ask nobody. Use your head. I mean, you can come up with it together. So I'm gonna let it play. And I want people to put their thinking caps on and be ready to listen. I have not heard this. I wanted to know before. This is like a Willie Lynch letter to me. But I wanted to know before, before we agreed to this, who wrote this. And if it was written by any of these advertising marketing firms, which it looks like, which Andrew Yang and friends. Guys, come on now. Don't make me play his Breakfast Club. I love night school. I get to smoke. Yeah, bro. Chill out. Night school. Earn your wings. You feel me? Ain't nothing better than some adults chilling, learning something at night. Care, bro. Ain't nothing better than that. Most people trying to fill that void right now. Anybody using their head right now? They trying to watch TV or something. Chill out with your Big Cousin Kev. YouTube page. Big Cousin Kev tonight. And we going to listen to this audio book as if we all chilling in the living room listening to this damn audio book. It's about an hour. It's a little over than an hour. 2 minutes over an hour, as they would say. And pull out them number 2 pencils if y'all want to take notes. If you got a good memory, that's cool. That's cool too. You don't got to take notes. But if you get kicked out of class and got to go to room 54, that's on you. I expect a lot out of my students this year. I expect a lot. Here we go.
With their hands in the cookie.
Oh, here we go. We're going to listen to the language as if these are words that you will use to get laws passed. Or is this a marketing tactic? Whew. Is this the language of getting laws passed? First of all, black ain't a... Never mind. We'll just let it play. We'll just let it play.
Cool. This contract with Black America strikes at the heart of racism and presents a blueprint to achieve racial economic justice. It was written in the backdrop of the killing of George Floyd, which set off a...
It was written in the backdrop. Oh, man. Press 1. It's already done at 2 minutes in. Oh, my mama. 3 minutes and 39. Sir, it was written up when? In the backdrop. Sir, press 1. It's done. Done.
Random, such as a pandemic, however catastrophic, can be so linked to one's racial identity as highly problematic and further evidence that, as a nation, we are failing miserably. This links to a larger political and economic vulnerability, whether we're in a pandemic or not. The immoral devaluation of Black lives has been ingrained in America's political economy and is long overdue for a reckoning. This contract with Black America is a patriotic pathway to promote our shared prosperity and achieve racial economic justice.
Shared prosperity and economic justice? See where we at now?
Ambassador Andrew Young is equally supportive. The pandemic has revealed to us the importance of...
No, they didn't say Andrew Yang is equally... Sir, I'm starting this over. I'm finna start this over from 1 second. I was trying to bypass a little intro, but this... Did I just hear Andrew Yang that fast? I'm telling y'all, I did not listen to this. Andrew Yang, your number has been called. If that happens. You know what that mean, Andrew? That mean your sin, nigga, has reached the heavens. If I just said your name and this computer reading this audio book, reading this contract, said your name, sir, you in deep shit, bro. This is your life. Live on the air. Kev Rowe. Judge Gills in full effect. We're going to be seeing what these people been up to. That's what Judge Gills is about. Y'all like my new show, Judge Gill? See, whenever that happens, it's bad news. Good news for me, bad news for them. He must gonna be all over the news next week. You feel me? Damn, sir. Let's start it over. It's done, huh, Victoria? From the intro, I tried to bypass the intro, Victoria. It was about a minute or so, that whole, I didn't want to listen to it. But I'm going to just let it talk.
Introduction. The official summarized contract as citizens and lawmakers both. We are joining to demand the contract with Black America be addressed immediately to finally create the more perfect union all Americans deserve. As such, it is time for a complete paradigm shift in how we run our institutions and operate our country. The problems facing America are too deep and wide to simply reform one area or another. Long-lasting solutions demand a comprehensive, thorough rethink of America so that each new approach in each area supports the success of the others. This contract with Black America will provide conceptual approaches in several areas. Derek Hamilton, in the preface to the contract, says this contract with Black America strikes at the heart of racism and presents a blueprint to achieve racial economic justice. It was written in the backdrop of the killing of George Floyd, which set off a wave of protests not seen since the civil rights era of the 1950s and 60s, and a global pandemic in which the Black mortality rate is more than double the white rate and in which 45%, nearly half, of Black-owned businesses closed. That the impact of something presumably random, such as a pandemic, however catastrophic, can be so linked to one's racial identity is highly problematic and further evidence that, as a nation, we are failing miserably. This links to a larger political and economic vulnerability, whether we're in a pandemic or not. The immoral devaluation of Black lives has been ingrained in America's political economy and is long overdue for a reckoning. This contract with Black America is a patriotic pathway to promote our shared prosperity and achieve racial economic justice. Ambassador Andrew Young is equally supportive. The pandemic has revealed to us the importance of the essential worker, of which many are minorities. We can grow no stronger without improving the sustainability of those at the bottom of the economic pyramid. The contract for Black America is a comprehensive step toward an action plan that addresses the future stability of minorities and essential workers across the nation. To address racial inequality, after reading the contract with Black America,
you see how they emphasize Black America? Who black talk like this? Like I tell you, it's a contract for what? Who wrote this? Because from the perception of a slave master somewhere, Black America sounds fine to them. Well, somebody who trying to find and get into their identity, again, for somebody trying to identify and get to their identity is destruction. It's more than destructive. It's catastrophic. And I told you, we just didn't want to read it. Go ahead. Now we can read it. You know, they talking as if they're in allegiance with us to help us do something. You see? Oh, jeez.
The undersigned agreed to support and demand an open debate and a clear and fair vote within the first 100 days of the 117th Congress in 2021 on the following proposals to be codified into specific bills. Next, Representation 1002021. Days of. First, join the fight for a better Black America. I, your first and last name, support this contract and demand an open debate and a clear and fair vote within the first 100 days of the 117th Congress in 2021 on the above proposals. Take action. Get updates on CWBA, your email address. Share the summarized PDF. Share the message on social. Full contract. Get and stay informed. Dig deeper into the full 26-page contract and learn what this is all about. Your voice, what do you think? 218 comments. Most reacted comment. Hottest comment thread. Oldest Bambi burning for days.
Hurry up with this. I ain't got time for that. Fuck that comment. Let's get to the...
Preface by Derek Hamilton, Professor and Executive Director, Kirwan Institute at The Ohio State University, and incoming Henry Cohen Professor of Economics and Urban Policy and University Professor at the New School. This contract with Black America strikes at the heart of racism and presents a blueprint to achieve racial economic justice. It was written in the backdrop of the killing of George Floyd, which set off a wave of protests not seen since the civil rights era of the 1950s and 60s, and a global pandemic in which the black mortality rate is more than double the white rate, and in which 45%, nearly half, of black-owned businesses closed. That the impact of something presumably random, such as a pandemic, however catastrophic, can be so linked to one's racial identity is highly problematic and further evidence that, as a nation, we are failing miserably. This links to a larger political and economic vulnerability, whether we're in a pandemic or not. The immoral devaluation of black lives has been ingrained in America's political economy and is long overdue for a reckoning. Authentic agency is grounded in resources, and America's unjust racial wealth gap is rooted in a history that has privileged white people with financial advantages to buy crucial, additional and intergenerational advantages for themselves and their children. Government policy and literal government giveaways provided them with the finance, education, land and infrastructure to accumulate and pass down wealth from one generation to the next.
The negotiation of the argument is my complete argument. That it's stolen, they took everything and blah, blah, and everything that comes with my stance. But it's manipulated in a way as a sales pitch. It's a sales pitch. It's a cold sales pitch, too.
And economic vulnerability, whether we're in a pandemic or not. The immoral devaluation of black lives has been ingrained in America's political economy and is long overdue for a reckoning. Authentic agency is grounded in resources, and America's unjust racial wealth gap is rooted in a history that has privileged white people with financial advantages.
If they know all that it was uprooted and how they illegally took it, then why do you want reparations? Why not just ask for a legal civil suit against the corporation? You charge them. You charge the corporation. This is what I'm understanding. This is what I'm not understanding. We get to it.
Crucial. Additional and intergenerational advantages for themselves and their children. Government policy and literal government giveaways provided them with the finance, education, land and infrastructure to accumulate and pass down wealth from one generation to the next. In contrast, black people were largely excluded, and, when they were able to accumulate land and enterprise, it was subject to seizure by government, complicit theft, fraud, and terror. This contract with Black America understands that this disparity is dramatic and that changes on the margin won't cut it.
So, why continue to market yourself and sell yourself back to the Confederacy is what I'm asking. I mean, if you're smart enough to notice, and those who constructed this, why put yourself back up for sale for nothing to the same individual and the same institution, which will be not the federal government, that will be local states, that'll be Confederate states, that'll be the South, and those states who still agree with Southern behavior. Again, Juneteenth, slavery was done before that. They just, hey, y'all free now. Again. Okay.
To reverse decades and generations of discrimination, we need a bold overhaul of our laws and economy. This contract rejects the racist and unsubstantiated rhetoric that ignorance, so-called grit, and personal responsibility are the sources of racial disparity, along with the accompanying neoliberal paternalism model in which government attempts to coerce or incentivize insinuated defective black people to behave accordingly and make better decisions. It is abundantly clear that the racial wealth gap has nothing to do with black behavior and everything to do with white privilege. So as a nation, are we finally ready to reverse our enduring and immoral blight of racism and all?
And then we go into white privilege and what it really means. It really just means foreign privilege, because there's no white in law. There's you just got people of descendants of foreigners. That's what you really mean at its core. So I'm not understanding, why are you still selling yourself back into the Confederate mindset? And I got the answer.
Authentically live up to the creed that all men and women are created equal. I do not know, but we have witnessed across all 50 states and pretty much the entire globe civil protesters shouting with solidarity that Black Lives Matter. Younger generations and social movements may be redefining economic good to embrace the principles of morality, humanity, and sustainability. This contract with Black America is a patriotic pathway to promote our shared prosperity and achieve racial economic justice. A contract with Black America addressing racial inequality. After 400 years of unequal treatment, Black Americans have had enough with gradual reform in a nation that prides itself as the world's greatest democracy. While well-intentioned solutions may have been tried, it is simply too much to ask an oppressed people to stay patient, to find...
Can somebody report to me the day your ass went into slavery? Press 1. What was the day? I'm going to ask. What day you went into slavery? Kevro. What day? What's the day? The 1700s wasn't 400 years. The 1800s wasn't 400 years. 1600s was, come on, man. When did you get into slavery in America? What day was that? Oh, there's nothing in my chat room. What year was this one? Don't worry about how he talking. That's an automated talkative system. That's not the question, D. Williams. The question is, what year did you go into slavery? Thank you, Todd. That ain't 400 years to me. That ain't 400 years to me. So who's trying to make me think that I'm a damn slave? These institutions who work for foreign occupation. That's the problem. They ain't got no proof of these boats. They ain't got no time frame. And the only thing they know is some Africans sold them off, and that's why they don't know nothing. That's right down the Confederacy mindset. You don't know nothing. King Hazy, Todd, come on now. See, Afro-Americans, you got to understand. Your forefathers before your forefathers before your forefathers ran this shit. Same capital. Same shit. Ain't nothing new under the sun, champ. That's what I had to realize. When I was born, I thought America just happened. They built this shit like this. Our Capitol buildings look like this historical shit. I come to realize that this ain't so. So it is what it is. The day you signed on a dotted line, the contract. What contract? The contracts that they have with the Aboriginal people that was here. It's you. I mean, your forefathers went from owning land to working in the plantation for the banks. Press 1. That's what they mean by working for the bank. For the bank. That white man was the bank. Put you right in the whole system of it in its own. You just lost this place. These people who have put this 400 years and this, you is on a boat and you was pissing and shitting on yourself and you come from nothing, all that is confusion. They don't know what they talking about. That's confusion. You was not a slave. You've been here this whole time. Dressing and fresh, all that good shit, talking the same shit. Remember that. Ain't nothing new. I didn't go from, I don't know how to do this with my brain because I was a slave. My forefathers don't come from no slaves. You some fool. They just throwing black, slave, this one, contract. Why do you think all that and handed over to Donald Trump as a legal statement? He looked at that shit like it was a motherfucker cheap blunt, like, shit out of here. I'm trying to free people again. The fuck? I'm trying to be Abraham Lincoln on the dirt. I'm trying to be the first one at Mount Rushmore, the fifth one. And y'all come in with this rubbish of re-enslavement of Americans. Give us free. That shit, all that y'all should be worried about. All this fighting for other people, that's cool, but not right now. your hashtag. Not right now. You end up with contracts written up by people bought and paid for, more than likely, by money they ain't got. I don't blame them. The money good. The money good, Young dogs say getting that guap. But shit, it come to a time where all money ain't good money. Y'all gotta bring yourselves down and recognize you're not a critical thinker like that. You're not really a chess player. I was telling you at the grand world domination stage, cause these people ran laps around you. They done got you for $1 trillion. Got your rappers and all you other fools out there like, where our money at? What we get, man? What you get is a federal indictment. Huh? What? Yeah, you been up to no good. There was an operation. We'll talk about that later on tomorrow. But you don't come from that lineage of begging and slave. This was an orchestrated Confederate machine to turn you into that. Kid Bro. That's all I'm teaching on my YouTube page, on my new YouTube channel. If you need that link, just let me know. I'll put it in the chat. Matter of fact, I'll put it in the chat room now. I'll put it in there right now. Why not? For you can watch and guard yourself from this language of nothing. Somebody trying to make you sign a contract with nothing in it. Press 1. Only thing that matter on that contract is your signature. Press 1.
We create the more perfect union all Americans deserve. It is time for a complete paradigm shift in how we run our institutions and operate our country. While this contract with Black America may seem radical to some, the result will be a harmonious society.
You don't think that that's a coincidence? The Pope tell these people the time is up? Let these Aboriginal people live? You don't think that coincides with what they trying to cling on to? I've been telling y'all, my whole inception on these people gonna cling on to Jacob like, please, don't let us go. And the only way they got you entrapped is by these lame ass rap illusion entertainment spell they put on y'all. This mindset gypsy like music fiddling ass pan culture Wakanda over there but not here as lifestyle Sodom, Gomorrah, and Babylon. Damn it. You can write that in scripture. You see why scripture funny to a lot of you motherfuckers? Because you wasn't there when they wrote it. And why? How you gonna write what I just said? People in the future, what the fuck did that mean? You see? But you got it. Why, nigga, right here. Right here, right here. Damn what they say.
Benefits everyone rather than the more radical alternative, which is watching the great American experiment come apart at the seams. The problems facing America are too deep and wide to simply reform one area or another. Long-lasting solutions demand a comprehensive, thorough rethink of America so that each new approach in each area supports the...
A new rethought of America? No. No. That sounds like another ideology that want to come in. No, a new rethink of America. We got a constitution. Ain't nothing better than that. Press 1. You may not like it, foreigner that's in trouble, but we got a constitution. There's nothing. We don't need a new contract. But it's black. I'm not identified. See, when you identify yourself with black, you don't sold yourself into a consciousness of nothingness. Paid for by the sons and daughters of the Confederacy. The daughters of the Confederacy, brought to you by Adolf Hitler's youth. Shout out to y'all. I'll see every last one of you. Right there. In association with. There's going to be a movie at the end of this shit. After I finish my documentary, it's going to be in association with the story of the American Negro and the legion of foreigners who destroyed them on fall and how they redeemed themselves. That's what my book. That's my book right there. How this nigga came out of nowhere they thought was a fucking clown. Ended up being the best teacher on YouTube. Press 1. Shout out to y'all. Shout out to y'all. Let's get back. Let's get back to this boring knowledge. This don't make no sense. They were dead already in the first 30 seconds of this video.
success of the others. This contract with Black America will provide conceptual approaches in several areas.
Every time they say Black America, I want my audience to do this at home. I want you to feel it. All my white friends and Asian friends, good Asians, the good white folk, the good black folk. When they say black, God, because that's what it does. What's your race? I'm nowhere near black. You got me. This is black. I'm not this. This is nothing. This is void. I don't know who told you what this was.
Including addressing black opportunity and representation, bank lending and finance reform, judicial and public policy.
Bank lending and finance reform? Sir, what bank and what finance? Let me guess. Put it in the chat room. What bank do y'all think this would be? I hope this isn't Killer Mike's fucking idea of a fucking bank. Just send these guys my social. No. What bank? Huh? John Woo? Get the fuck out of town. Who is it? Andrew Yang, the bank one, soft one. Look like somebody broke. They need you. How does everybody need you so bad right now? You ain't ever thought about how you're needed on earth right now. Please, bro. Please.
Reform. Expansion of 13th Amendment rights. Police reform. Reform in Hollywood.
13th Amendment. Poof. Democrat. 13th Amendment. Oh, even if they get out of slavery. Even if they make it out. They got felonies and shit. They motherfucking slavery again. Slavery again. 13th Amendment. There's some Democrat. Ooh, every time it's time to get free. From a contract we don't walked into stupidly. You better pray to God. You better repent of your sins. Following after the world like a bunch of idiots. Turn your back on God, country. Now you ain't got no guns. You took all your food. You fucking... You just sit at home and play with fucking electronics. Order all your food from fucking electronic. You don't want to do nothing. You don't even want to breathe no more. You outside, you motherfucker wear a mask. I'm gonna tell you fucking Americans, black Americans, you want to get fucking haircuts. Do them little scooters where you go forward and backward and wear a mask. Y'all should do that next summer. Make that shit a fad. Just run around like a fucking animated cartoon and shit. So I can write all this shit down for future generations on how y'all just... I'm afraid that this is what... I don't know who it was in the Bible, but somebody said that they showed them, I think it was Jeremiah or somebody, showed them what the future was going to be like, and he was just like, oh my, no. Yeah, they're going to be... Looks like we're there, buddy. You ain't got no president. He's a hologram.
Approach to our Confederate past. It will then present more in-depth
proposals
showing how
they agreed.
Guiding principle.
Oh my God, they agreed. Do you hear this contract? Listen to this.
Several areas, including addressing black opportunity and representation, bank lending and finance reform, judicial and public policy reform, expansion of 13th Amendment rights.
What? Expansion of 13th? How about this just getting rid of the 13th Amendment? The expansion, that's not a right. Oh my goodness. The slavery. They're trying to kill him. They're trying to get us. The British is coming. The British. They got us, dog. The British is coming. Expanding of what? I'm talking about getting rid of the 13th Amendment altogether, family. We don't need to expand on more slavery. There's a whole Netflix series on the 13th Amendment, and it will be disgusting if you knew what was in it. Okay? And how it affects you. This is what Donald Trump was trying to do to your... Anyway, let's get to it.
Police reform, reform in Hollywood, and an approach to our Confederate past. It will...
an approach to our Confederate past. A Hollywood... What? Yeah, bro. I'm sick of these Democrats. They must wrote this on a crayon, handed it to somebody, and they came up with a speech, because this is ridiculous. This is ridiculous. And the world is terrible. And a rethinking of our Confederate past. That's the Democrats. What do you mean a rethinking of the Confederate past? The Confederates was defeated, right? The only people like you who think of who just now waking up to you being free is you now got to rethink your Confederate. The Confederate you been in the Democrat area. You know the Democrats are the Confederates. You do know that. Press 1. Now listen to me, Trevor Noah from the British monarchy. You do know the Confederates, them the Democrats. Oh my goodness. Oh man, I'm thinking we can need a whole lesson. You do know that, right? Everybody hit the like button. We making school fun again. Say it with me. Malcolm X said it best. The Democrat is nothing more than a Dixiecrat hiding. That's all he is. And if you know Southern, at the time, that was Southern. I told y'all, all them Southern Klansmen and stuff like that, them was Democrats. Man, that was Joe Biden and them. An association with the sons and daughters of the Confederacy and the German and all the other racist folk who came over with a specific ideology paid for by the Democrat. Damn. Just the thought of it all is overwhelming. And I don't blame you. I know why we all skip school. That shit is just, what?
And present more in-depth proposals showing how these guiding principles can be put into action. First, through a plan for neo-reconstruction, followed by the America's Job Pact, AJP, a plan that addresses jobs and education, black opportunity and representation, a case for neo-reconstruction. Neo-reconstruction is an aggressive initiative meant to redress past wrongs systematically imposed on black Americans economically throughout many generations.
Oh, that's crazy, because you just don't want to say what happened with the crime bill, which is the association of the damn Democrats. Once again, Joe Biden, 94 crime bill, savages, they come to our school, they're going to turn our school into a zoo, unquote. Oh, go to rallies with the Klansmen. Mr. Byrd, top KKK Grandmaster. Hit the like button. I told you. It don't make no damn sense. They want to give you $1,500 every 3 months and tell you to ration it out. That's the base level. And y'all already used to it with your mask on. If they have a Black Friday on the day before y'all get a stimulus check, boy, that'll be all that this world needs to just ensnare your ass. You ever seen the ocean? You ever seen a fishing boat? 2 of them go that way and take the net far out that way, and then the other one take the net, go far out that way, and then they just go along the ocean and sweep up all the good fishies. That's you. You the fishies. You don't got caught up on the internet full of you feel me? Got fucked off as a collective. G from the base says rations. Of course.
Wrongs that have had a severe negative impact on African Americans both economically and educationally. The specific case and plan for neo-reconstruction is presented later in the document. A commission will immediately be formed and empowered to quickly put the plan into action. Separately, a plan will also be devised to make Native Americans whole within the same timeline. Black Americans will be compensated for the value of work contributed by their I'm
dead. These niggas gave our culture away right there. He called them something else. There's the Islander, Pacific Islander, Asian connection. You got the bank, you got the casino, you got the only. Listen, family. There's no need for. That's why I said, who wrote this, and who's writing their way into yo shit. Again.
While well-intentioned solutions may have been tried, it is simply too much to ask an oppressed people to stay patient, to finally create the more perfect union all at least one enslaved person. They must also prove they have identified as Black or African American for at least 10 years prior to the institution of the reparations program.
Huh? Hold up! What? Hell no! We started this back to 7 minutes. We finna get a clear perspective. Did you hear this? Press 1. I hope I heard this right. I'm starting that back completely.
Specific case and plan for neo-reconstruction is presented later in the document. A commission will immediately be formed and empowered to quickly put the plan into action. Separately, a plan will also be devised to make Native Americans whole within the same timeline. Black Americans will be compensated for the value of work contributed by their ancestors, while Native Americans will get back the true value or land promised to them in very...
No. There it is. Oh, I'm so glad. Oh, I'm so glad. Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness. Did you hear what I just heard? Oh, I'm so glad I played this tonight. Did you hear what I just heard? I told you. I told you. I told you. I told you. We should all hit the like button just for Kev being a great professor and bringing the truth to the light, to the darkness, bringing the light to the dark. Because a lot of our people is in darkness, and we got to bring. Did you hear that? I mean, it means like everything that I've been fighting for and telling y'all has been so right. Remember when Chris Tucker said, this is right. It don't get no righter. That's where we at. This is right. This is so right. Ain't nobody ever did no shit like this. Hit the like button. Fact. What? He just here. Black American. Sure, Native American. Them the same one. Why are you giving our shit back? The contract is up. Why are you giving it back to them? It's time to go home. It's the Planet Ape. Remember? Go home. Remember Avatar? Just go home. That was part of this. And if you not down with that, I don't know what's wrong with you. I don't know what's wrong with you. Glory to God that this is even. I'm going to push play again.
Treaties. For Black Americans to be eligible, they must provide documentation proving their descent from at least one enslaved person. They must also prove they have identified as Black or African American for at least 10 years prior to the institution of the reparations program.
No, because most people aren't going to be able to get a lot of this because their names have been hijacked. But it's under foreign occupancy, and so are the deeds to most of these states. So it's a trick play. Why would? There's no way. But you know who's African. You know who's Jamaican. You know who's this one, and you know who's that one. 10 years of what? Claiming black. That's everybody. That's East Indians. That's everybody. Oh, we black until we time to get a job or something. Trying to get that government benefit. This is so insane. This is so insane. That knowing what we know now, looking back, you can say in one consensus, in my classroom, I got something special coming for my class though. But look, y'all know, people who been here, this is incredible that this will even be playing, and you be able to say, then that would mean They're trying to sell our land back to them. You see how fast your brain can make those connections when you know? It's different from when you ignorant. But when you know that this person set out in association with others to present as if it was a consensus by us. This is what he supposed to. I'm glad the president stumped that shit down. You too caught up in entertainment, too busy worrying about business and who cheating and who ain't and what's this one and that one, when this is the most critical time to be alive and you should be paying attention to this. 1920s, the census. Melissa, in the chat room, we talked about this. I told y'all, once we got a consensus of a time frame going backwards, you're going to realize that everything that happened to you happened in between this beautiful time frame we living in. You're going to realize that. And you're going to say, then why was I thinking so far? Because you was living in a dream world, Neo. Somebody had you dreaming the Kool-Aid and dreaming of Disney World propaganda. I don't know who told you to think about Egypt being in some continent called Africa. And pyramids and stuff come from just the origin of civilization. I don't know who told you that. Sound like propaganda to me. Because you know, like I know, it all started here. All of it. So that's why most of you Afro-Americans got Indian blood. Because your ass is Indian blood. That's why. Not because you got 25, but them is them trying to tell you got 10%. They gonna make themselves Native American. Oh, what are you? Then put a feather in their head, come over as a Pacific Islander, and say, I'm Indian, I'm this one, and I'm that one. Facts, but I'm like Donald Trump say. Them don't look like Indians to me. What'd he say? We need, It's a automatic role reversal when you're due Afro-American Negro. Do you know what, off of your name, what these people get off of your last name? Do you know what benefit your kids to get? Why you getting $212 that they giving you? You know what? They kids get $100,000 a year, and it's stacked up in the trust fund. So when they get out, each one of them got 1.4, 1.6 $1 million right off with. Get yourself a nice car. There's life, and then you got a repetitive cycle because we're apparently on a land. No, we not. You on your land. And that's enough for the contracts. You see what I'm saying? Y'all motherfuckers is off. Y'all letting rappers and alcohol fuck your brains up. You better chill out.
Affirmative action for all secondary schools.
They just sold you. He just tried to sell you.
Universities, public and private.
That will make him a slave catcher. Press 1. Press 1. That'll make you a slave catcher. I have no fucking liking to. I got a personal hate with trafficking. You know, I got a personal. It's me. It's like a personal thing. I live on Figueroa for real. Shout out to the 70s, all the way down to all the way down that motherfucker to the Denver Lane. Past that, for real. You go to Vegas for real. That's no joke. I'm not into trafficking. And when Donald Trump said that this is a form of this is trafficking, when you try to sell a whole nation, you already sold their land to SoftBank. Now you're trying to sell their whole nation to who? What marketing scheme is this? To who? Who you trying to sell us to? You swipe the land like Jay-Z say. We here to steal the land right up under you. One nation at a time. We taking over. It's y'all shit.
Enrollment must meet or exceed the percentage of the black population nationwide, 13.4%. In addition, if the black population in the county the school is located in is greater than 13.4%, the enrollment must be increased to that higher percentage. However, 25% black enrollment will satisfy the county requirement if the school can prove they are a national school with less than 30% enrollment from the state in which the school is located. The same guidelines that apply to students will also apply to faculty. In the case of schools not deemed national, which are in county states where the black population is less than 13.4%, i.e., Idaho, Montana, etc., the percentage required can be decreased down to a minimum of 5%. For clarity, enrollments of black Americans greater than the minimum thresholds required is always permitted. Comment: local funding for school.
Bro, who came up with this, bro? Somebody just marginalized me and my culture. Just straight the fuck up. Dissect it. Oh, and they can just be racist over there. They can just be, but y'all will call racist, mean segregated over there. Damn. You know, because there ain't that many black people. But why not just bust them out there? Just put them out there. Fuck it. Why not? Who came up with this? You gonna do all this? Let's put them on their ass on a bus. Charter school with some strict ass teachers. Sit there out. And they give us a lot more free time as parents. Who came up with this yet?
Will be determined by an equal per student fund for all schools throughout the state. There is also extra funding for disabled and disadvantaged students. Change source of funding from property taxes to per student in line with the practice of most advanced nations.
How they passed the handicap? How y'all just passed the handicap and that's that communism shit. You know why all the poor people out here, all these poor people, a lot of these people need help. Okay, not jail, but real help. For real. And we disregarded these people who belong in mental home. And they don't got nothing for them. This is some whole... You saw how he passed up that homeless argument? Like it was nothing. These people don't care about that.
Otherwise, poor communities suffer from underfunding, perpetuating the cycle of poor education. Mandatory...
More damage is done. I'm eating that while I'm eating peanut butter M&Ms. I'm saying this. More damage is done by illegal immigration and people misusing the government by claiming minority status but claiming Caucasian or Asian a race. You claiming two things at one time. That's dual citizenship that Donald Trump got rid of. It's the same shit at this level. You are a minority because you are a... It'll take three of y'all to make up one American. Your vote will be less that of American born. That's how it's always been. The minute you took on the role of a foreigner, you became less of a man. Press 1. Because foreigners in America are leaving their nation to come here. So they following under the rules and regulations of the laws, statutes of this country. You've been tricked. The complex is on the wrong people. That's all it is. It's the right complex when you're properly standing in the law. It's the wrong complex when the wrong people is subjugated to this type of behavior. But, Kev, bro, we're going to get free. Don't worry about it.
Civil rights and anti-racism classes in all elementary schools. Black scholars will write the textbooks and curriculum adopted for these classes. Institute the Black History 365 curriculum, African history highlighting the civilizations of Mali, Ghana, Songhai, Egypt, Ethiopia,
There it is there. Why we got to know about all these foreign black nations? We don't got to know about Ethiopia, Ghana, this one, Egypt. When we ruled not that long ago, Egypt was in America. Everybody knows this. Everybody knows this. Why are they trying to sell you Africa so much? See, it's always a plot to uproot you mentally and physically from your homeland so they can come and use your name as those people did here. The contract is up. Either you gonna sell yourself for nothing, you're gonna be a sovereign American.
And others are incorporated into all schools' world history or social studies curriculums. Comment: Black representation on all government civil rights investigative bodies. Reform gerrymandering. Districts cannot be designed to minimize the impact of the black vote. More polling sites in minority and black neighborhoods so that the number of polling stations provides equal access to black voters as they do in white and other communities. Lack of access violates the 1965 Voters' Rights Act, and the act should be amended to give it more teeth since it is currently not working. Juneteenth to become a federal holiday, equal health care facilities in all neighborhoods regardless of demographics, a formal admission and apology to Black Americans for past wrongs, massive bank lending and finance reform. While capitalism is a good system, it requires capital to participate. For decades, Black and Jewish people and neighborhoods, considered hazardous, were entirely
So this one got your birthright, got your birth certificate over here holding your deeds. This one over here got your religion. This one got your whole identity as a collective. I'm dead with this world.
Or largely denied loans through the unscrupulous banking practice known as redlining.
So Jews are denied loans. Jews are denied loans. I'm fucking dead. I'm out of here. What? Another nation on your back. Stand up, black man. Stand up. Another nation on your back. Huh?
While redlining was made illegal in 1968 with passage of the Fair Housing Act, and then again with the 1977 Community Reinvestment Act (CRA), statistics show the perpetuation of de facto redlining in many of the same communities, most notably Black communities, still exists. Studies.
The Democrats in your community been doing this. It's time to hold them accountable.
Consistently show Blacks are denied access to lending in roughly the same percentages as before the Act's passage. The result is white families have nearly 10 times the net worth of Black families today. As an example, even
white. That's Chinese people too. Hispanics are white. Press 1. Everybody white. Everybody white but you. So what you talking about? Whites have more. Everybody white. Who's your friends? Everybody white. Chinese people white. East Asians, East Indian, they all white. Only people who around here calling themselves black is you. And they want you right there. Blackie. You stay right there and don't you move, Blackie. And I'm going to pay people. I'm going to call my celebrity. They're going to keep you right there. They're going to blend in with you. We're going to make them stars so you look up to them. Okay, bro. You're going to sell your soul to touch these motherfuckers. They're going to put so much fashion jewelry on them niggas. You're going to think, but they really were advertising companies for this person. Yeah, see, their names and corporations was bought and paid for a long time ago and sold off with Jay-Z and Roc Nation to some Asian company. So, yeah, so now we want you to do this one. And you better not bust a move. You understand how this works? Not you that work at Taco Bell. You go on to work. Punch them buttons. You doing better than that. Okay, bro.
When Black families get home mortgages, nearly 20% pay on average 1.5 percentage points above the average offered to whites. And although the Black population is roughly 13.4% of the nation, approximately only 3% of loans and credit are given to Black.
And the only reason why you are 13% of the population, because your daughter man is the only people putting black. That's why you 13%. Why don't you put something else? That's why. You know damn well you're not no damn 13%. But on paper you is. Why? Because you've been herded right in that demographic right there.
People, whether for credit cards, home mortgages, or Black-owned businesses. In addition, only 1% of banks are Black-owned or led, Bank lending on a yearly basis by percentage of dollar amount must match the black population in communities which the bank serves. However, the minimum threshold must yearly meet the percentage equal to the national black population, currently approximately 13.4%. As the black population increases, this minimum threshold will increase. Yearly audits and banks not meeting the minimum standards face loss of bank charters. To be crystal clear, every bank in the United States each year must lend in each category of loan.
So it'll be no growth. It'll be steady for the next 15, 20 years. We've been breaking a growth, breaking even all this time. We ain't had no dramatic as Afro-American overexposure. I had extra kids or nothing. Y'all been going down in Planned Parenthood and shit. That's not new. Genocide. Yep. They know what your numbers is, how to keep them low, how to make that statement they just said irrelevant because you always going to balance out. So ain't no growth. You're going to stay right there in poverty. That's where you're going to stay in that
Credit,
contract.
mortgage, etc. A minimum of 13.4% to black-owned businesses or individuals across the category or instrument of financing involved. Comment, rate.
Or any individual that crosses the category, why do you think all these people, especially the Asian folk, shout out to them, is saying they are colored? People of color. Wait a minute. Y'all be talking about the racism for these white folk. These Asian countries are more racist than these white folks y'all calling racist here in America. Press 1. I'm going to show you. Just not now. I'm going to wait for somebody to say something. Just not now.
Some black loans federally and from banks to be same average rates as whites. Comment, for qualified black Americans, Federal Reserve to allow a one-time interest-free loan for home ownership.
Federal Reserve? We just got rid of them. Why y'all trying to sell us back to the Federal Reserve? Oh my goodness, press 1. You trying to sell us to... They trying to sell us to a foreign entity. Press 1. The Illuminati, that's Ice Cube. He tried to slave catch you right now and sell you. Mm-hmm. So this contract right here to Donald Trump, this was a contract that he scribbled on a prison paper. He scribbled this paper up, y'all, and he said, listen, man, if you let me go, sound like this one, I will give you all these niggas. If I was in the Indians back in the day with our great grandfather, we would say, this Judas and the Black Messiah, you tried to sell us. Sir, we're not the same no more. You tried to sell us. What's your race, Ice Cube? You better not be Hindu. You better not be German Jew like Jay-Z. You tried to sell us as ransom for nothing. Like the Bible says. You trying to sell us for ransom for nothing. For your own freedom. That's what I would say if I was a leader. If y'all said, Kev, what do you think of this? And I came out in my white robe and I looked at this. Who wrote this? Get the fucking rope. Execution, whatever that shit is, get ready. Guillotine. I don't know how we gonna do this person. No, invite him on over. He trying to sell us. As ransom for nothing. Biblical moment right now.
Federal Reserve currently provides corporations with free or 1% loans and is flooding market with liquidity. Instead of it all going...
Hold up. He said stop. Rob said stop talking with food in your mouth for fuck's sake. Hey, Rob. As we say in California, bro, get out. Bro, what you doing all in my mouth, though? You not listen to Rob? You supposed to be paying attention, king. You supposed to be melanated, king. You worried about me eating these M&Ms. I'm eating 10 and 15 at a guap, giving me more sugar juice to spit more truth. And you a hater. You a hater, I see. You just mad. You ain't got M&Ms. You ain't got no knowledge. You mad. Your girl probably upstairs watching the shows. Baby, why you don't ever think like this? You ain't doing nothing with your life right now. You just sit right there and don't know how to think about nothing. You just talk about, like, that's how y'all Democrat women talking to y'all right now. You little punk, you ain't thinking about shit. It's already bad enough you don't do shit. But nigga, you don't even give me no inspiration to think about. Coffee and Kush TV. Bless yourself, Rob. You shouldn't be all up in here. You should be getting the knowledge. You should be getting the knowledge, bro. You be getting argued at, bro. You should be more like this guy. Like, Kevin, you mad and shit. Mad. What we doing? If we supposed to be, what you doing in here, baby? You supposed to be cooking. I'm at school right now. Press 1. They at school, punk. That's where they at. You in the other room, you empty vessel head ass Negro, in the other room mad because she got something to do. She at school. Leave her alone, bro. She studying, hater. Kev, bro. Don't get mad.
To prop up the stock market, help create black family wealth through property ownership. Federal Reserve to adopt a view employing modern monetary theory with the goal of maximizing employment, housing, and educational opportunities, as well as improving quality of living for black and poor Americans. Spending will be constrained only when actual inflation appears. Federal plan of
Spending will be constrained only when what? Man, you can't constrain my spending, bro. They want total control. If I want to spend, leave me the fuck alone. Ain't nothing to do in the house. Press 1. Democrats got us out here looking like, damn, communism. They want to stop spending. No. What's wrong with you, Ice Cube? Y'all was in rap videos making all of this one and that one. If a person who work at Walmart wants to buy him something nice, what's the problem? You jealous? If you don't buy nothing, they figure if we don't buy anything, they'll never go out of style. Press 1, they think they playing mental games with us. Reverse psychology. Buy something. Buy your newest fashion so you'll know these niggas out of style already. They're not keeping up with fashion. Something wrong. Niggas just start wearing white t-shirts and small chains. Where they at?
Funds proposed by Derek Hamilton will provide every child born into lower wealth families with accounts that will start with $1,000 and would
$1? Wait a minute. They get 100,000. Mr. Yang and Friends, marketing team, $1 in my bank account. When they born, they get 100,000. Where's mine? $1. And what happens after? How do you get more dollars?
Continue to funded by the government based on family wealth up to $46,500 as proposed by Senator Booker and Representative Presley.
Booker? Oh my goodness. Press 1. I'm embarrassed. Y'all just don't know we in deep. Booker. Oh my goodness. This guy again. He tried to get us with the lynching bill. Yeah. Look like we got a couple informative people trying to get us with the anti-lynching bill. We already anti-lynching bill. What is this one? Just so happens India has an anti-lynching bill at the same time. What is you and Camilla Harris up to? She's Indian, you know. East Indian. Scooby-Doo moment. You ladies better be careful. They may be trying to cover you up. All you need is a hoodie. Then you're going to be under jihadist law. Whatever it's called. Well, I just made that up. What's that law? Where you're almost complete. Yeah, bro. I'm telling you, communist nations is hard on women. When they finish tearing us down, ladies, boy, communist China, I'm going to tell you what they're going to do. Because y'all like to talk a lot. I'm going to tell you what they're going to do to y'all. Y'all American women, y'all like to back talk. They ain't going to turn into pimps. And they going to be like, listen, little mama, they going to have the government come in and bandage your feet up. You will never walk again. You gonna be sitting at the house. You ain't got to cook or nothing. Everything ordered and automated. You just sit right there on the phone and enjoy your social life for the rest of your life. They're gonna sterilize you and do all this alien style shit. I call communism aliens. They're like aliens to me. Press 1. I call communists aliens. Straight the fuck up.
Accounts to be managed by the Treasury and use of funds restricted to asset-enhancing actions such as buying homes, starting businesses, and funding education. Change the decades-old credit scoring model to mandate consideration of consumer data on rent, utility, and cell phone bill payment.
Sir, if you don't put all that shit on an unsecured credit card and pay all your bills and boost your shit yourself, I don't need the government to tell me to do these things. I need to go in the world and find people to help me do this by myself. I'll do it. I don't need government mandate to fucking tell me how to build my fucking credit. You should be a man. I'm so disgusted. This is why y'all dumb.
A cookie jar company is any company that was knowingly involved in human trafficking, human bondage, slave trading, or slave labor at any point in its existence. Companies found to have directly benefited by the private prison system and those who perpetuated overtly racist policies will also be considered.
Battery low. Please charge now.
Will be conducted by a commission formed for the singular purpose of assessing penalties and remedies from these companies caught with their hands in the cookie jar. Venture capital and private equity funds that take money from police unions or other public entities must invest 13.4% of their total funds in black-owned businesses. According to Axios, only 1% of VC-backed founders were black between 2013 to 2018. Government pension funds. Federal and state pension funds control over $1 trillion. They must allocate 13.4% of their investments into black-owned enterprises and businesses. Corporations are publicly regulated, and as part of the certification process, all past and current tax returns must be made public. Create a transparent reporting mechanism for abuses to economic programs designed to benefit communities in need, including federal programs such as Economic Opportunity Zones and Community Reinvestment Act (CRA). Audit of opportunity zones to determine who is benefiting from disbursement of such funds and tax breaks and public
already had been signed and done. That's what I was telling y'all. That's why Trump was like, that's all there. We got all that. Thanks, buddy. We got all that right there. They ran off like, Donald Trump didn't want to talk to you. Yeah, sorry, guy. Got all that. But y'all wasn't paying attention. Opportunity zone. Oh, Kevro.
Closure of the owners of projects granted such access, judicial and public policy reform. Recognize racism as a public health crisis. It mandates a federal response. Ban all privately run prisons. Fines established to be paid.
Racism as a public health crisis? Oh my goodness. I like what I do. Racism as a public health issue. That makes sense.
By companies that profited off the private prison system. Prisoner labor not allowed without consent. Prisoners to be compensated at the minimum wage and hazardous pay provided for applicable duties. Declare the Ku Klux Klan a terrorist organization. Lynching to become a federal hate crime with a recommended federal sentence of life. Free all prisoners for marijuana possession. Eliminate laws establishing mandatory minimums. Eliminate 3 strikes laws. First offense for illegal drug use or possession to require government payment. For entry into an approved drug rehabilitation program rather than imprisonment. Once a prisoner completes sentence, voting rights are restored. Personal data Most states publicly release bulk data about arrestees unchecked, like the 1970 Fair Credit Reporting Act regarding credit data. There must be guidelines that allow similar privacy and accuracy protections and the right to dispute and correct inaccurate data. The Civil Rights Division of the Department of Justice reformed through stricter guidelines, so DOJ oversight of police departments and other government institutions becomes more than a rubber stamp. DOJ can be sued for non-compliance so that standards do not vary depending on administration. Currently, the black population is overrepresented in the military as 17% of soldiers are black. The percentage of black enlisted soldiers is even higher. To compensate for this disproportionate contribution to our national defense, 5% of the Defense Department budget will be allocated towards beautification, education, and youth programs in predominantly black neighborhoods.
What about trade school and skill work programs for these black men? What about that? See, this is the problem here. Drug rehabilitation program. All that means nothing if no skills are acquired. Press 1. To get them resumes ready. To make America great again. Skills. You're not naming anything that the black man can use to get back to his family or reconstruct himself or nothing. What if he's not a criminal? What if he's not into drugs? You leaving those people, you leaving the innovators, the critical thinkers, the creators of this beautiful culture that created the world in music, and you leaving them completely only to be marginalized. And drug rehabilitation program and this one and that one and the federal this one. They don't need none of that. They need local government, local Democrats to stop destroying and holding the black community captive by taking all of the money and pocketing it in themselves and not putting that money back into the communities. Real work programs. None of that. Back to work program. School youth program. They mamas and daddies take them to the park. But the daddies got to get back to work. 18, 19, 20, 21. These dudes is getting out of high school, not graduated. Where they going to go? To jail. Probably for drugs and say they was taking drug and get the program. But they're not going to go to skill. There's no mandate to go get a skill.
Programs will build goodwill towards the country, resulting in greater patriotism, more successful recruitment efforts, and a generally more enthusiastic military population. EPA to inspect water supplies in all communities nationwide for lead and other forms of contaminants. Fixing polluted water systems to deliver clean water will take priority in any future infrastructure spending bill. Technology action plan that provides for computers and broadband in poor communities. Work with technology companies to set up high-security 24-hour computer lab learning centers in the heart of technology deserts. Constitutional amendment codifying expansion of the 13th Amendment by the courts. Amendment will abolish slavery in any form, including as a punishment for crime as allowed by the 13th Amendment for prison inmates. Further, it will declare unconstitutional any government-run system including justice, policing, education, health, and welfare, etc. that does not provide services on an equal basis to all citizens and communities. If provided public services fail to meet minimum standards, they will be considered on their face unconstitutional unless proven special circumstances. Reverses burden of proof to those in non-compliance instead of civil rights lawyers having to prove systems are racist. While courts have expanded the interpretation of the 13th Amendment to provide some of these rights, this amendment will eliminate any uncertainty. Police reform, qualified immunity will be eliminated. Legislation to reverse Supreme Court case Plumhoff v. Record 572 U.S. 765, 2014, in which the immunity was upheld. Before legislation is passed, the Democratic Party should oppose qualified immunity when the official party platform.
The official party platform, they should oppose, they will oppose. The Democrat gang is right there. I mean, they should. It should be mandatory if you're putting all your weight on the Democratic Party. Press 1. Don't tell me it's not political. This is all politics. Press 1. This is treason. This is betrayal. This letter itself is a betrayal. This is the Judas Act. This should be called the Judas Act. The 2020 Ice Cube Judas Act. To reclassify, not to make every statement you said irrelevant because you called them black and all these other terms that's not legally defined to, not even a race, it's just colored on a crayon box, something. Whatever they are. That's how y'all walking around talking about black people. You got black and African and we're going to put them in these schools and then they're going to be forced to study. Who's going to be the teacher? Dr. Umar Johnson? He's going to study what? Pan-African? What is the Pan-African sexual prevalence? What is panism anyway? Who is Pan? It's part of the illusion, family. Wakanda by Stan Lee is the dream world. The Dajjal in the Muslim world. The illusion in the Matrix. Kevro. Satan. The father of all lies in the Christian faith. This is what it is. This is the old serpent, like I told you. And as many of y'all was here the first time, I told you what the snake or the dragon even represent. Why that's even a part of the symbolization in Satan's little story. Kevro. We gonna get that good shit going though. I'm gonna play 10 more minutes of this and then I'm gonna stop it and get to it first thing in the morning. But I really want people, I'm gonna drop the link on my Discord tonight so people can be brushed up on it and can be ready for school tomorrow. You know, shout out to the people at my Discord. I'm gonna drop it in there. I'm gonna drop it on my Patreon. And I want y'all to look over this, but already you get what I'm saying here.
It's drafted in August. This will pressure mayors to instruct city attorneys not to assert qualified immunity as an affirmative defense. Police lawyers can still argue why they should not be.
Oh, and while I'm at it, forget that. We'll come back to that in the morning. We already got that done. While I'm at it, I do want to say why everybody is calling themselves colored or whatever this term is that they're using for us, and everybody's included in this unison thing. When you read this contract, you can hear the words of others who identify themselves as people of color. Press 1. Black. People of color. So then you will get everybody to identify themselves as people of color and come in through the acts of George Floyd again. The AAPI Victory Fund, which was put forth by these people, was started in 2020 during the George Floyd pandemic. Why do you think it's called a George Floyd pandemic? Because racism is a what? It's a health problem. You get it? Time to wake up, America. You about to have a black president. Y'all better vote for me because I woke you up. You better vote for Kev Gill.
Comment. Mandatory malpractice insurance to be carried by police officers like lawyers and doctors do. This protects victims' ability to collect on bona fide claims. Insurance to be paid for by police department.
We'll get to that. We'll get to that first thing in the morning. Don't worry about it. It was a pleasure. I got to get up out of here. It's only been, what? It's been an hour. And I don't want to open the phone lines because y'all ain't going to call in. But I want to tell y'all who wrote the damn, who wrote the contract for Black America. Ice Cube, in your opinion, or Mr. Yang? Vote 1 for Ice Cube, 2 for Mr. Yang. Who does this contract sound like? Who more likely to write some shit like this? The people who sponsored John, whatever his name is, I'm gonna get this. Andrew, and I'm thinking Charles Wu. Andrew Yang or Ice Cube, the Hungarian rapper. Coffee and Kush TV, man. It's a pleasure. Y'all saying number 2? Yeah, I figured that. I'm number 2. Ice Cube. It's time to start looking at the race, nationality of these people. I just found out that Jay-Z is German, okay? He's a German Jew. I'm really like, oh, that's why he just scandalous. That's what I was like. I was like, oh, that's why. He just fuck it. I don't care about that one. If it ain't about the show where the money reside, where the money, all my Jewish friends, that's what they think. Where the money reside, I don't hear nothing else. Where the money reside. I save up every nickel and penny. I counted all these. Jay-Z got a vault full of nickels and pennies that he just been tossing in there. They don't spend a buck. That's how the rich stay rich. You don't spend nothing, G. Keep it right there. Take the subway to work. You don't need to be. It don't cost $50,000 to be cool. Especially nowadays. Get the Uber, get the highway, get the subway. It don't make no sense. So we may have slave traders on our hands given a language, hidden words of trafficking. You know, we gotta watch this hip hop community. And Ice Cube, you, even though you brought up Eazy-E, you was kind of bucked in your contract too, sir. You went and signed another Vaseline deal. So, you know, who's to say? I don't know what y'all into. Just don't be trying to sell us as one unit as ransom for nothing. I ain't never heard no shit like this. Ransom. Here you go. Here you go. Coffee and Kush TV. I see y'all in the morning. Monday school tomorrow, early morning for class. I hope y'all gonna do your research a lot more. And I'm gonna open up the phone lines as well. It's your boy Kev Gills, Coffee and Kush TV. Thank y'all for coming to night school. We're gonna end it off right here because it's gonna get good, I suppose. It's another 20-40 minutes of it. And I'm gonna let all of this just digest.